Hello and welcome back to the LCS Spring Finals, where the crowd in St. Louis is fired up for Game 2 of TSM versus Team Liquid. And TSM now on the blue side have struck first. Broken Blade putting on the carry pants and taking it over the line on the Vladimir. And now switching sides, TSM starting to ban away. Rise and something else.
Not deterred by the Heimerdinger counter pick there, trying to block Zoe damage. TSM won't have to add that to the ban list in this one, and Zoe herself might actually find her place into the early stages.
And I'm so excited to see if Team Liquid is going to have that faith continually in Impact to give him that last pick, to put him in a favorable matchup against Broken Blade and see if he can make something work. TSM gave it to Broken Blade last time around, and despite the fact he was down early, he certainly turned it on late.
And it was in team fights. Not even 1v1 accommodations there for TSM. Huge plays around team play and objectives for this squad. Team Liquid looking to strike back on red side now. So Team Liquid do have the guaranteed counter pick for one of their solo laners later on.
And look at the bans shaping up. Team Liquid taking over several of TSM's bans from before, the Sylas and Jace red side bans. They've left up the Taric. That's grabbed right away. Liquid must have an answer for this bottom lane.
The question is, do you take the Sona to try to break it up, or are you willing to play against it? In which case you have to have that answer. You have to know exactly what you were doing against this composition. TSM banned Taric on the red side in game 1. This time it's left up, and very likely will be that Sona, Taric, Frostmancy bot lane.
Yeah, definitely highly probable here for TSM in the first round. On the Team Liquid side, my personal picks, when you know that that is coming, is some sort of kill lane in the bottom side. Because while Taric and Sona do have great sustain, they have great poke and drawn out lanes, if you can burst down this squishy champion, then that may be a way in.
And we saw Blitzcrank come out from before. Now Ashe going to be the pick probably now for Doublelift. We know he's known for Blitzcrank, but is CoreJJ? That's the question. And right away, Hecarim, and there indeed is that Sona.
The Hecarim gives you the hard engage. The Sona speed up adds to the damage and forces the team fight around your timing windows of your Taric ultimate coming down. So these three champions we've already seen used in the LCS extremely effectively.
And this was the permutation used against TSM by Cloud9. This is how Cloud9 beat TSM with it. Those three picks.
Love it.
Having a monster game, and we're going to get Zyra Ashe, the throwback. This is extremely lane dominant here.
Absolutely the case. Long range, incredible poke damage here, and you should be out of range of Daz the whole time. If Smoothie wants to commit flash for Akaadian to follow up, that is a possibility, but you can keep them in arm's reach the whole time.
Zyra, one of the most threatening bottom laners, if there's no all-in potential here. And against the Sona Taric, Zyra does get to utilize that range, does get to look for the constant snares, the constant poke damage.
And that's where it becomes so important for these two junglers to be playing around that bottom lane, for Akaadian to be able to break up that 2v2, where certainly Doublelift and CoreJJ will have the advantage, and also for Xmithie to actually be protecting them. Because if you are pushing in, if you are always at that turret poking away at them, Zyra can get burst down very quickly by a Hecarim gank.
There are a lot of possible kill targets in this bottom lane, and the junglers are well equipped to go after them. Rek'Sai and Hecarim can have very potent effect on that bottom side of the map. However, we're on to ban phase number 2 here. Focus on the solo lanes.
Exactly, and I want to point out that Irelia is now left up. TSM is one of the teams most known for Irelia. Broken Blade, of course, the player here, and Liquid have allowed him to pick it. They do have the chance at counterpick, of course, still for their own top lane, as Hecarim seems to be jungle based on Akaadian summoners, but that is something to watch out for. Is he willing to blind pick the Irelia and anything Impact has?
I'm also going to be really interested to see if TSM wants to get a marksman into this composition in the mid lane, bringing something like a Lucian or a Corki in. I have seen those style of compositions be very effective. As you go later on to the game, there's so much protection for that marksman.
Oh, love it. Zven every time hovering a notable champion, and a notable failure of Jensen, Doublelift, or Impact earlier on in their long and storied careers. Zven's, of course, impressive as well. Another Lux hover, and what is it going to be actually? And it is! The Lux comes through, not a marksman, but more mages now. And there's the Irelia.
Wow, the Lux is coming out here for Bjergsen. This should be very, very interesting. Certainly do have the ability to line up skill shots on Zoe coming out of the ultimate.
Exactly. Anytime Zoe roots herself in place, going for the big poke damage with the R, you have a possible counterattack, but it also means that a Paddle Star is probably coming your way. So both of these mid laners dodging will be put to the test. I love this lock-in, seeing the Lux throw down.
It's also a champion here that has so much backline access. The Lux, if you have the Hecarim and the Irelia flying in with Taric ultimate, Lux ultimate coming over top onto someone like the Zyra or the Ashe who don't have those move blocks, who are very vulnerable to that, that is incredibly threatening.
And there are no tanks on Team Liquid. Rek'Sai is going to build Warrior, probably a Black Cleaver. Impact is going to probably be full AP here. So if you catch someone, they're probably going to die, especially a TP Ashe down there. TSM can be so aggressive.
There are so many gank targets. When all the lanes are looking this aggressive and you're talking about these offensive plays, the junglers have so much pressure on their shoulders early on in the game. You can snowball pretty much anywhere on the map.
Exactly, and as those laners, you have to play with almost less respect, I feel, to the jungler in a way that you have to know the jungler cannot be everywhere. These are volatile matchups. It is so much down to the 1v1s, to the 2v2s. You can't play with fear. You can't expect that the jungler is everywhere.
If one area of the map is under attack, it means that another area can play strong, can go aggressive. Let's see if Team Liquid can strike back in game number 2, or if TSM will take over.
Now there's a chance here for both of these. 2 victories, 2 titles for Team Liquid, 6 for TSM. Bjergsen at the helm of 5 of them. Probably the greatest player of all time in North America, but it wasn't his story in game 1. It was his new top laner and Broken Blade who took over. And now given his notable Irelia, the Sona Taric for the bottom lane, the Lux counter pick into Zoe. Let's see how it goes. Onto the Rift for game 2.
Since franchising, since this new iteration of Team Liquid, they have only known winning in the finals. Already, TSM have delivered them a single loss and looking to take over the series. Will the veterans stand strong? Akaadian, first into the pixel brush here, into the river. Defensive openings for both sides.
Feels like there's so much pressure on TL to have effectiveness in the earlier stages of this game. When you're looking over at TSM's composition, their 5v5 late game should be incredibly dominant. There's so much protection, so much shielding and healing that is going to come through between Lux, Taric, and Sona. And there's not a tank to be found on the TL side. There's no one that is going to be too hard for them to knock down.
No tanks in this game, my friend. This is all about who strikes first. You land your skill shots, you get your kills. Lots of firepower on both sides.
Very likely to be Warrior Trinity Force on the Hecarim. Forward motion here. Akaadian had a very rough start on the Rek'Sai and still converted that into kills despite a 1-4 scoreline at a certain point. Was a positive factor on the champion. The Kindred band baits out the Rek'Sai. They get the Hecarim anyway, and Akaadian should feel comfortable here.
And we've got to remember, last time we did see this against TSM, it was FLICKR having that incredible game where he was very far ahead, and that made the Hecarim look so powerful. But Smoothie should have the early advantage in the 1v1 and in the ganking power. So we'll see if Smoothie can make it a different story here against Akaadian.
Early poke, but a better trade for Zven, actually, as he lands the auto attack and gets extra gold for it. But here comes the poke for CoreJJ. Q start. Gonna keep trying to get his gold income, and that's gonna be something to track, is how much Sona can earn versus the Zyra, as they can both scale very well with ability power and gold.
Again, for people who haven't seen this quite yet, it's been terrorizing solo queue, it's been throughout pro play, but the Kleptomancy and the Spell Thieves on the Sona, not going for CS. Early flash is traded!
Dodge, but Hecarim's still here for plenty of damage. The answer back not gonna be much, they don't have CC, so Akaadian gets the damage output in and a flash force out of CoreJJ.
That was a great flash though from CoreJJ. He actually anticipated Smoothie to flash, knowing he would not just throw out the dazzle there for no reason, and that is gonna give Smoothie time to get double scuttle here.
And again, this bottom lane has to play off of pressure. Xayah, Ashe, so strong in lane if you can protect them from possible ganks. Impact!
Early on already, Broken Blade puts Impact down about 200 HP. The farm's still decent. This wave looks okay for him too. Such an early recall out of Impact.
Definitely a rough situation to be in there for Impact. And likely will have to expend his teleport. That wave is going to push away from him. Broken Blade actually stacked it as he walked back to his wave. It's also a bit closer to TL's side. So Impact gonna have to TP back, and now Broken Blade will shift into pushing mode where he's gonna try to reset this wave and get his own base off and potentially save that TP advantage.
It looks fashionable while he's doing it. Yeah, it's been 3 years since Lux was last seen in the LCS. Bjergsen, this is his counter pick in a Zoe. Jensen thought it was Heimerdinger. Bjergsen brings in the Zoe. Jensen's counter pick did not look very good. Bjergsen almost always looks amazing on this final stage. Jensen yet to grab his title. Bjergsen almost always the one who has stopped him.
That is Jensen, who moved to TL to get that first title. He has been chasing that for years and thought this was the squad to win with here.
All right, tracking the junglers as they're going to be so important in this early game. Xmithie this time is the one invading into Akaadian side of the jungle. Did not get the ping with the passive quite yet. And tries to track him down, but it's too slow.
Spots him now, but it's, yeah, definitely too late for anything to happen. Those 3 camps all gone. Xmithie can only go back to his own side of the jungle and take himself that Krug camp.
He was trying to take advantage of the desynced recalls there. With Bjergsen back in base, recalling on the Lux, he went for the offensive play. He has the Rek'Sai, can definitely win the 1v1s, plus the mid laner can come over, but Akaadian and TSM do avoid the early attempt.
And this advantage for Broken Blade on the top side is actually quite significant, because when you're playing a pushing 2v2 bot lane, you now have to be so scared about the desync teleports on the top side of the map. Broken Blade could be TPing behind you, could come in and punish you, especially with a flashless Zyra.
And there's a point I want to mention. You talk about lane leads. This bot lane difference is massive. Keep in mind, Taric is the primary farmer. You can compare Smoothie to Doublelift for actual CS in the lane, and Doublelift is doubling him right now. Taric not allowed to farm against Ashe Zyra. He's missed a lot right here, so it will be just less gold overall. The point of this combination is earning the extra money, and they're not getting it here.
Exactly. Taric Sona, not a new thing, and they have prepared this counter pick in the bottom side. Broken Blade, the story for the top side there, as you can see, continuing to go for it. Smoothie does pick up the Scuttle Crab to try and protect Impact on that very important split push as they do get close to the level 6 possibility. That is where the Kennen really has to worry. Irelia, level 6, all-in kill threats must be warded against.
Zven not quite helping with all those last hits right there. 25 to 44, the farm difference.
Yeah, KD has actually been sitting in the river for quite some time now. He has been waiting for an opportunity to get down and try to kill CoreJJ, who, remember, still has no flash, but that pink ward will keep them safe for now, and that is quite a bit of time invested while Smoothie was taking top scuttle, recalling, resetting.
Solid damage here in the mid lane, but Jensen's still alive.
I think you can see by Jensen's ult cooldown there, he just went for one of those ult plays, activates the portal, and Bjergsen probably just lands the snare at the initiation point of the cast point there, getting him on the return. And the rewards are huge.
Yep.
Big amount of damage traded through. Let's see if it turns into any sort of mid lane control though. Wards around this area do allow the junglers to get so much more movement off.
Speaking also of those level 6 all-ins, Ashe Zyra is reputed for that, certainly. The ability to actually hit that Ashe arrow, guaranteeing the root from Zyra, guaranteeing the ultimate will land. They're going to hit level 6 faster, very likely, and Zven and Smoothie will have to be very careful. Zven does have the cleanse, as does Bjergsen, but Smoothie is not immune to dying here.
Exactly. With a Rek'Sai, you can go for a tower dive, kill the Sona before the Taric ultimate even falls all the way down. Xmithie continuing to invade here with Jensen. After the mid lane push, they got the wards, and Akaadian, there's no vision on this red buff, so they're not going to go for the smite.
Instead, it's Smoothie who grabs it, and look at the difference here. 700 gold up for Team Liquid. Now, Zven, of course, can keep printing money later on. That Frostfang income will never go away. You can keep that going later. So watch the top fight once again, but it's still, look at how good this matchup is looking. Pretty solid farm. That was a blind pick Irelia and Broken Blade. Health bar lead in farm equality here against Impact.
Doing very well for himself once again. Meanwhile, jungler's not able to get any big early action down. I do believe this favors Akaadian on the Hecarim, approaching the level 6 here. But again, as we keep mentioning, Rek'Sai's level 6 does open up tower dive possibilities.
Third aggro.
On the round on the top side, big stunts coming across. Will it be a re-engage? Not under the turret. Broken Blade, though, down pretty low. Xmithie and Akaadian are around. This could be a 2v1 against this Rek'Sai. He spots it, and that Q could have been a kill. Had to flash the Prey Seeker, or it would have been a death.
Yeah, did not want to get marked, and Akaadian couldn't quite get in front to block that one in time. So a Summoner Spell is blown on the top side, and that opens up possibilities.
We do have Ashe now at level 6. Zyra going to be very close behind, and that is that window TL are going to be looking for. We'll see if they do call the Rek'Sai down, as you were talking about, Kobe, and try to look forward, or if they just feel they have enough damage with a straight-up 2v2.
Well, they've only got about a wave and a half until Zven hits level 6. It might just be on these casters, actually. And with Crescendo, it gets a lot harder to find those kills. And there is Crescendo. So 6 comes through for Zven, and well, that window is gone for the double ult play. Actually, CoreJJ still 5 in his own side. Temporarily, actually, ultimate lead on the TSM squad. Gold still close, as once again Impact is forced on the recall. TP up soon, but not instantly. And he still gets to burn it right on time. Won't lose much here.
Yeah, Akaadian kind of hovering around for a possible counter gank there on the top side. Jungler's trying to guess right now, as neither one has extra information from deep wards. A lot of this is still a guessing game.
You can see a couple key changes already, though, from Impact. He is rushing the Proto Belt this time around. In the Kennen versus Irelia matchup, it is more about the all-in than it is about the sustain and the poke. This is going to set him up more effectively for the team fight here also. And you know, in the meantime, CoreJJ rushing Sork Boots, that in addition to this Ashe is giving them even more power in that 2v2, and they've knocked down 2 turret plates.
Remember, still on the top side too, Broken Blade's flash has a long time before coming up. That's why we saw Akaadian hovering around for a possible counter gank. But it still is an area to keep your eyes on if Xmithie were to try an attack.
Round 2 could look very good. You're seeing Impact's build is more team fight focused. It's not the Gunblade that is Proto Belt. Also remember that Broken Blade's W does not block magic damage anymore. And Xmithie can come back up as Lacing Maelstrom is back available.
Dragon on the table. Both junglers headed down here as Team Liquid have the control ward on the entrance. And it looks like the pushing bottom lane will add enough damage for them to grab the objective first.
Yeah, I think it would be way too risky for TSM to try to challenge at this point. CoreJJ and Doublelift are going to offer so much more right now than that Sona and Taric.
Still slowly scaling up the Frostbane closer to completion, now at 442. So within about a minute's time, Zven can come back to taking the farm. And Smoothie not able to get a whole lot right here. 10 minutes in, only 57 CS has been pushed back. It will not be that same high-income Taric we normally expect in comps like this.
And I do expect, despite the fact that TL is a bit up in gold, that TSM is feeling totally fine with that. Rek'Sai has not gotten anything massive done in these early levels. I think that their 5v5 going later into the game is going to be incredibly hard to actually deal with here for TL, with all these squishy targets to hard engage on when you have Hecarim and Irelia, plus a Taric ult.
And now the sustain from the Sona Taric really starting to take over. The poke not felt much more, and by the Zyra and Ashe combination. If you don't get the kills with the crowd control, and they're not going to be able to cash in quite yet. Mid lane very even as far as the early CS and the contributions towards early pushing for wards.
And that was Ashe ult burned right there just off screen on a Smoothie. And they put in the burst, and he went down to about 2/3. Not a big concern there. There's the third ult on towards Jensen, but staying alive there. Redemption's back up, and he's healthy.
Yeah, all they really got from it was the heal out of Smoothie, so a small win perhaps, but nothing too impactful. And Doublelift is working towards that Blade of the Rune King completion. We'll see where he wants to go from there.
Gonna walk down towards the Rift Herald on the top side there as Impact shoves in and hopes to make sure that Xmithie can stay safe. There's a control ward over there, and Hecarim is actually bottom side. They know that Rek'Sai is far on this side of the map, as he actually just jumps over the wall. He's nowhere to be seen. Akaadian still around, but no dive, no fight here bottom side.
Just farming away, and as you keep alluding to, TSM pretty happy with the way that the game is going thus far. A lot of teleports coming back out, and
First stun, not gonna find the second. Stranglethorns look pretty good here, and wait 2.5 seconds for the re-engage towards Smoothie. No Summoner Heal does have flash, slowed once again. Next root comes in soon, has to flash it away. And now it's Akaadian's turn. On towards Doublelift, flashes, gets away. Will be feared back in, but not stunned. Is it enough? Yes, it is! First blood in for Akaadian. Now it's time for Xmithie. Flashes in for himself. south. CoreJJ finds that kill, a trade.
1-for-1 again here, but TSM strike first, and they've got the push on the minion wave.
Yeah, and the first blood onto that Hecarim is huge. He was first to the play between the junglers. And it is Akaadian that strikes first in this second game.
Well, he's the one who gave up the kill in the previous, now looking a little bit better on this Hecarim. Plenty of farm, and it is Warrior. He's got Merc Treads to handle all the CC, and he's ready to keep being the front line, to be the engage for TSM.
And here this is one more time. CoreJJ was waiting on the side. This was a bit of a bait from them. He was waiting to hit that root, does immediately, but the Taric ultimate lands in time, and it is an Akaadian here that is the X factor.
Exactly, first jungler to arrive gets the reward of the kill. Goes in, they get the huge burst damage from the Sona proc there, and Akaadian finishes it off. But Xmithie is very quick to arrive as well, flashes in to follow up with the counter kill.
Credit to Akaadian as well. Very well-placed ultimate to actually fear Doublelift back into his team there after the flash. And despite the fact that the Dazzle did not connect, it just doesn't matter. That flashless Ashe gets pushed into the Sona Taric.
This game, you look at the difference, still only 1,000. TSM weathered that in the previous game and still had a better mid game. Team LIQUID are still the team winning lanes, but we've got a lot more game to play, and we'll see what else can happen here as the Lux keeps trading farm pretty much equal. 1 CS difference between these two mid laners.
And it's very interesting, you know, when you're looking at how these two compositions interact. When you think of Zoe having so much poke as all in on top side.
Yeah, plenty of damage there, jumps back over the wall, but this is a lot of burst. He's going for the kill. One hit away, but Akaadian is around. Does almost have the ult, not gonna go for that kill, but Impact a hair's breadth away from dropping.
Broken Blade has been so strong this series so far, and still threatening Impact. Doesn't overextend for the dive, and no kill goes over. But that is the all-in threat that we've been talking about. Impact probably needs to play with the rest of Team Liquid. He's got the Proto Belt. He does have a lot of AoE that he can contribute.
And critically, he did not blow the flash, which is so big for those team fights. He did barely survive, but he held on to the summoners. And as I was talking about earlier, this Zoe is normally such a poke threat, but against this team with all this healing, if you cannot 100 to 0 someone, your paddle star does not really matter at all. And TL does have a ton of damage on this comp, 5 damage dealers, because you need to be able to burst through this TSM lineup. You cannot play a long, protracted fight, or you will just get worn down.
Zoe Bubbles and Ashe Arrows are a possible way for Team Liquid to find picks through the mid game here. Those are much more effective if you can fire them from the Fog of War. So we see these control wards going down around the dragon, then they start up the objective here, they're pulling it out, and it looks like TSM gonna answer.
Will he be targeted? Finds the root onto Akaadian, doesn't burn the ult to immune that one, but it's enough pressure. Push Team Liquid back a little bit. They drop down the wards back and forth. Drake will reset.
TL really want this second mountain just to increase their Baron threat. We saw TSM get access to that last game, and TL trying desperately to grab this dragon.
Broken Blade walking down the river. Here comes the ult, the hard engage. Look with the back line. They're gonna find the first on it. Down goes Doublelift. 5v4 to re-engage it. It's gonna be a trade kill. Here is Kennen. They found a third already. And TSM are pushed off the map.
Impact with the big ultimate on Kennen, uses the flash, comes in with the teleport, and picks up the extra Team Liquid kills. Broken Blade still here though on Irelia.
Has a stun, not gonna hit that one, has the ult just now. Could go for the big play, but this would be dangerous. 2v4, picked up is the Drake. Team Liquid win the fight and grab the objective.
Certainly goes heavily in the favor of TL, but the initial engage was beautiful from TSM. That combination of Hecarim plus Lux and Taric. Bjergsen layering the ultimate across Doublelift. He went down before anything even happened, but Impact finds that fight that he needed. You show off all this AoE damage in their composition between Impact and CoreJJ.
Just as we were looking for from the Kennen, joins the rest of the team, Proto Bell active, flash used, and they do get the extra kills. Here is the coordination though. Akaadian with the fear back, knocks Doublelift right back into the Lux ult, and the Sona ultimate was also used there to finish off the kill, but that was the single target basically. And Impact comes in, sweeps through the rest of the team. Broken Blade!
Is gonna find his solo kill, his first of the game underneath the turret. and Impact needs some armor fast, or he's going to start falling over even more rapidly.
Yeah, very likely we'll have to rush towards that Zhonya's now. It's going to be a very different style of build here, but Broken Blade getting that advantage in the side lane is huge. There's no TP on Impact. No one can answer this bot wave, really. Might just be their turret.
That is the cost of using your flash for the team fight. Broken Blade knows there's no out for the Kennen. Immediately goes for the all-in, getting a lot of work done on that tower.
Impact actually sacrificing individual pressure. Oblivion Orb comes in, has a stopwatch, maybe stop a dive. That's a good bubble. This could be damage. He's in range of the AoE. Broken Blade is low. There could be the chase down. He's ghosting, and he's gonna find it. Jensen answers back for Impact.
Jensen roaming down to the bottom side, does pick up the extra gold for Team Liquid, and they still have the lead.
And here is the 1v1 one more time, queuing through those minions, getting the resets, landing the stun for yet another reset, then Q ult at the same time to get the final reset there and finish off Impact, dashing back out. So clean there from Broken Blade.
That kill, though, Impact gets the bottom turret. Team Liquid the first of the game, 2 in a row where Impact gets that extra gold toward him. It'll help in the matchup to move towards an arm guard later on. Team Liquid now, Xmithie and CoreJJ waiting in the wings. Will they find Zven?
I'm really interested to see if they will grab an early Executioners here on Doublelift, or if they're just content waiting for their Morello coming through from CoreJJ and Impact. CoreJJ is rushing towards that and can apply it to the team well.
Yeah, the healing reduction will come in very big as we get to the team fight phase here. Rift Herald has started up and TSM are in the area.
They've all got him around right here. Broken Blade in the wings. They're going to find that stun, and deleted is Zven. He can't join this fight anymore. Smoothie, the only one invincible. Oh, Akaadian gets Doublelift. There's Lux over the top. Here's the Irelia as well. 2 for 1 so far. Does Broken Blade get more? Another shutdown in for Lux. TSM slaughter this fight as Akaadian finds another.
And it swings right back the other way. This time around, TSM take over. Akaadian on the Hecarim gets to the back line. 2v1s Doublelift and CoreJJ after they 100% to 0 killed Zven before the fight even started.
Doublelift could not get away from Akaadian whatsoever there, and the solos come in from TSM to clean everything else up. What a strike back here from the TSM squad. They get the kills, they get the Rift Herald and the Baron. And here it is one more time.
The opening is great for Team Liquid as Doublelift with this ward sees Zven head over. CoreJJ actually lands the first snare and they get the 100% to 0, but Akaadian recognizes all spells used by the backline. Then the huge TSM combo in the middle while the 2v1 is taking place above on your screen. Collect all of the extra kills and the double flashes to find that stun.
Yeah, TSM members certainly hyped after that one.
That was Reginald, by the way, even with the face off camera, hyped out of his seat.
Double bind for Bjergsen ult. That was a beautiful setup there, and his counter pick is working in these team fights.
Small correction, Smoothie did secure that Rift Herald, and he was able to pick it up before he did go down. So TL at least get that out of the fight, but still heavily in TSM's favor.
Another small correction, that was Peter Zhang, one of the coaches.
Regardless, it is a 1,000 gold difference. TL still looking good. There's the sleep. They're going to find a bit of damage, but Bjergsen's going to stay alive on that one. Arrow not anywhere on the map.
That binding was actually so sick from Bjergsen. It stopped Jensen from getting close enough to actually land the paddle star right before Bjergsen goes into that sleep. He threw it out and prevented what could have been perhaps lethal damage coming through.
Certainly would have hurt a lot. Sork shoes were in, and that's a lot of a damage multiplier here as we still have a very close game. Double Mountain Drake only helps Team Liquid if they can go for a Baron or hit turrets later on. But right now it's TSM pushing in mid. Turret down a half. CoreJJ waiting in the wings. Spotted though by that nice sweep there, and no wave clear. Down goes the turret. TSM now leading 2-1 on that score.
Rift Herald has to activate on the top side there for Team Liquid because I believe it was about to time out. And it looks like TSM will,
under the turret, big damage, but not enough to kill. Is Impact now maybe answered back by Broken Blade, pulling him back. Nice stun, and out they go. The Herald will charge top side, and no one's around for local gold, but still 250 for that. And now the push in towards the bottom five. They find that stun, they get that kill. Team Liquid answer the bottom lane.
Such a different look from TL this time, trying to punish Broken Blade in these side lanes.
they actually double teleported Jensen and Doublelift down to the bottom side to get that kill and turn it into a Cloud Drake.
They get half that turret gold, they get the kill, the Cloud Drake theirs as well. This is Team Liquid looking a lot better in the mid game than they did in game 1.
And they're so much more proactive this time around. The builds have changed and they are looking very aggressive. Not only do they get the kill, they get the dragon, they take a tier 2. Those are big blows back towards TSM, and we are again so even, but it is TL with double Mountain Dragon. We are post 20 minutes, and the threat of the Baron is very, very real.
Team Liquid also have the speed here of Cloud Drake with all these towers going down on the outside, to be able to move through these rotations, back out to the Baron pick very quickly. This is the big objective on the map. You have to keep vision.
And if you look at the other side, TSM do not kill Baron quickly, but they kill Baron very safely because Taric plus Sona will keep you at full health. But they do not have any powerhouse DPS, any marksman to shred through this, no Cassio, nothing like that. So it will be a slow take for them, and TL likely would have an opportunity to respond if they try to sneak in.
Wits End now completed for Broken Blade. Keep in mind, 9.6, not the rework Wits End, but plenty of individual power 1v1 when he fights this Kennen and MR for the Zoe and the Zyra in team fights as well.
Again, control wards going down. Looking for the big pick opportunities for Team Liquid with the Zoe bubble and the Zyra Ashe combination. However, the hard engage from TSM has been huge for them, not giving up even when a member gets 100%ed to 0.
They certainly have it, and as TSM, you have to really be cognizant of all the different cooldowns that are being used. This is not a Tom Kench, this is a Zyra, right? Zyra can function as a second solo lane mage. You can put out so much damage if you ignore this champion. So the tracking of cooldowns, the tracking of position in these fights is so critical really on both sides.
Several shields come through, blocking most of the pokes, staying back out from the Sona as
Impact.
well, and this isn't meaning much. Impact waiting.
Yeah, but Doublelift was on the top side with the Ashe there, and he doesn't have teleport anymore, so don't believe Team Liquid are looking for an engage here, as again they have him farming side lane.
Broken Blade pushing in the bottom lane. That turret very close to dead. Impact coming down to defend that one. We'll see what that fight looks like in a little bit as mid lane is cleared, and TSM once again take over control of the Baron. Looking for wards to kill, looking for the chance of an ultimate. Team Liquid giving him respect, but this vision is going away.
I mean, if TSM really want to force a fight, you can be the one to just constantly start up Baron, heal through it, shield through it, and force TL to come to you and then look for that hard engage. But as of now, I think they are pretty comfortable just sitting Broken Blade in that side lane because the 1v1 is only going to get better for him.
Yeah, Team Liquid can use some abilities to check without having to use their champions, use their faces. They've got the Ashe Hawk. They also have the passive from Rek'Sai, and they're trying to use those abilities in this dangerous territory, not walking into TSM.
Zyra's not too bad either. You can summon those outside of most engage range as well. And well, right now it's still Team Liquid pushed out of their jungle for the most part. They can't even get their own red buff anymore. Watch out for this one. Akaadian only gonna go for the buff. There's the quick reset. Smite fight could be had, but no wards right now for Team Liquid. There's the pickup. He's sleeping, but it won't matter too much. Smoothie walks up to tank the Q. That isn't even coming.
And they're traveling in groups here. Every time a member of TSM gets slept, the shields come through preemptively. The bodies all come to block the follow-up damage. They're grouped up on the tower, and here they go!
Here's the teleport play, looking for the hard engage. Is it found yet by Team Liquid? Impact finds a Q, nothing else though. The team running around, they've brought back their top laner also, 5-on-5. Not yet a kill. A single stun, not gonna mean much either. Jensen looks for the poke, not gonna get that one. Akaadian and a half, there's a stun on Taric, but he is not the ideal target. Presses the ult, stays alive. But that is low health bars. Here's the engage from Broken Blade. Finds 2 more stuns. CoreJJ is down, and the backline will not be found. It's 2 kills for 1 so far, and make it a 3rd for Bjergsen. TSM wins another team fight.
And they can heal right back up now with the Sona Taric. Your Impact's ult hit no one there. CoreJJ's ult meant nothing, and all the AoE damage was for naught from TL. TSM standing strong here. They could look towards the Baron if they want, but it would be a very slow take, so I expect them to just reset.
They're going to take their kills. They will not get the turret. It will be defended, but it puts TSM back in the driver's seat. 700 gold up, ready to go for round 3.
Let's take another look at how it started out. Team Liquid circling around TSM. As soon as the teleport comes in, they do not commit. They back out. And Akaadian goes for the damage first because he knows he has the heals and the shields to be able to go for those early trades. They force Xmithie back early on. CoreJJ and Team Liquid walk up though. Ashe arrow goes down onto the Taric, and they don't burst him. before the ult comes down.
But critically, they saved Zyra and the Kennen ultimate, and I thought that was going to mean the turnaround, but both the Zyra ult and the Kennen ult miss everything. Impact did not have his flash quite up, but they were not able to connect. If they were, that could have been a TL victory in that fight.
Team Liquid not able to bring the structure to that team fight to be able to pull it off. And TSM continue their surge. Back out on another map though. This is still a 2-mountain team.
Waiting around in this top river, you can see those health bars mostly red. That means Team Liquid had the vision top side. Mountain now, the first one picked up on this side, but now that top engaged. They've gotten Bjergsen. That is a big kill now for Team Liquid.
This could mean they start up Baron. We'll see if they want to try to go for it. Zven is going to have to cleanse, and TL can go towards that Baron. This may be their window of opportunity.
They have to use this timing. Double Mountain Drakes, 1 member up.
And they've got ultimates. This is the 4v5 that TSM must find some way to defend. Giving up Baron is a lot of map control. Broken Blade to the front side, finds 1 stun. Will there be the re-engage? Xmithie is low. Will they pull the trigger? He picked up the honey fruit, and Baron is healing back up now.
The threat of that flash Sona ultimate inside the Baron pit is too scary. They pull off it.
I actually can't believe Team Liquid actually gave away that opportunity and decided that they got too low and couldn't take that fight.
I mean, one of the things you have to remember with this TL comp is there's no true tank, there's no shielding, there's no healing. So Smoothie is actually taking so much damage from the Baron. They can kill it quick, but they kill it very dangerously, and it's kind of the two opposites in this game.
Much like the TSM comp in the last game. And after that stop to the action, it will end with just the single kill being given over. Team Liquid trying to get back out into position though. They know they need to make that pressure convert.
Turret at half HP on the outside. Not dropping any time soon. 3-3 in turrets overall. Lux ult burn to check the pit. Team Liquid have gotten rid of vision. That is an important damage source for later on in this fight. Zven gets around the bubble. No cleanse if it does land.
That level 16 Lux ult though is such a short cooldown. You can see it's already half up. So seriously, will have that for that next team fight, and TSM have mid lane control. They're just going to take the turret.
And it's going to fall rapidly there. Trinity forces help, and the auto attacks come in now on the inhibitor already. Team Liquid not in position to defend just yet. To get around their base through the gates. Decent damage there, but no hard CC, and through the uprights. Doublelift cannot quite get that stun.
TSM continuing the onslaught here, taking objective after objective. Another turret goes down. They've got the gold lead secure, and now they can actually retreat back to the Baron entrance and start to clear out these Team Liquid vision wards.
Now quick resets come through if they need them. Broken Blade considering the recall, not just yet. But there is Scuttle going TSM's way. They can get rid of this control ward in the pit.
Again, the safety in numbers here. They've got the heals and the shields to be able to protect anyone who gets hit with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, who gets hit with the Ashe Arrow. They're warding against the biggest strength of Team Liquid there. They're on a ward right now.
And it does feel like TSM have just crafted such a strong composition. Not only does it feel like their 5v5 is incredible, their 4-1 is extremely strong with Broken Blade. So you can win 5v5, you can win side lane. TSM has more options, it feels like.
Broken Blade himself has been such a tipping point so far in this finals. Has that 1v1 advantage over the Kennen in the side lane and is really using it.
It's been so long since Doublelift has actually bought. He has to be closing in on the IE now, I would imagine, and you know that will be a very big item for him.
Just a couple hundred gold and he's got it. He's got to need about 1 or 2 more waves, but yes, that will be a spike, and he's going to gets it in time for that Baron fight. There it is. Clean top side, that is 3 items in, but Lichbane done and half the death cap for Zven. He's in no bad position either.
All right, Team Liquid have done the prep work. Bottom lane pushed up. Impact does have teleport, and he's level 16 now on Kennen. He has caught up, got the extra level in the ultimate. It's going to be all about, do they have the speed to actually make that happen, though?
Poke not going to land. We know it's a short cooldown. Xmithie actually spotted. Arrow's going to get one. It's Lux. She burns the cleanse.
And that is very critical that the TL support stays safe.
Hecarim into the backside, and he knocks down CoreJJ. Traded back, though, from Doublelift's side, and here comes the possible re-engage. What a route, though. Hits 2. Kennen can't get in.
1-for-1 trade. No one else around to try and protect him afterwards. TSM still trying to push up the minions, though.
That Lux ulti is back now. It's up once per wave. 27-second cooldown at this point. Pretty insane. So CoreJJ. Oh no, Jensen has got to get out of there. Bjergsen sends him back.
Praise the Banshee's Veil, gets him a lot of extra MR, makes him survive that onslaught. But now both those mid laners have been injured. Jensen worse for wear.
Impact already sent by Team Liquid down to the bottom side to once again push out these side waves. Team Liquid are the first to try and get those minions in their favor.
And critically from that last team fight, TSM did a great job to force out the flash from both Doublelift and CoreJJ. Those guys are going to be so incredibly vulnerable. Flashes are up for every member on TSM, and the Ghost is a much shorter cooldown. So for that next hard engage, if you can just erase TL's bot lane, that could mean everything.
The one correction I would make for TSM in that team fight would be put your Taric ultimate on either the Irelia or the Hecarim first, then go for the dive. And as you're saying, Azael, the dive targets are going to be vulnerable.
As long as Smoothie positions, he can keep his back line alive and make sure that AoE hits the Lux, the Sona. And now let's see, once again, waiting around the midpoint, 100 gold separates. Drakes don't mean much in combat here for TL as they wait around.
Coming from Broken Blade, it is deep, he wants to flank.
They get rid of the Banshee's Veil on Jensen, he's running away. There's the push out as Akaadian has to ult away. He's been stunned, the reactionary ultimate, but that is several now down. Jensen found out on the side, but Broken Blade can't come through. The flashing Crescendo on one. Not just yet the kill though. Health bar's low. Now it's time for Irelia. The stopwatch pops, but the backline will stay alive. The Ashe auto attacks come in. A stun finds one. Impact stopwatch now as well. The re-engage. Who's gonna drop? It's Impact 1 for 0. Now towards Doublelift. Bleeding on the floor. 2 for 0. The Root will find a third. And TSM win yet another one.
That's gotta be TSM marching into the Team Liquid base yet again. This bottom turret burning down.
It's all up to Jensen and CoreJJ to try to clear the wave, but I think they could end it here. The spawn timers are so long.
Let's see if they can race against the clock here. Inhibitor turret gone, inhibitor in their sights, no problem. A refreshed wave with 2 cannons there as well. 2 must defend against 5. The first turret dropping, that one's gone. The slow one CoreJJ, the minions not dropping. TSM ensuring it is theirs, and they're 1 game away from returning to their legacy. TSM 2-0.
Another strong game here from TSM, and in that final fight, TL was so split up, was so segmented, they could not stay together and have the damage needed to knock down these TSM members through all the healing, and TSM played out that fight so incredibly well.
They really did, and this time it wasn't just one person carrying above the rest, it was a team effort where it felt like all the players pitched in well. The Lux came in big. Bjergsen, the better mid laner so far in both of these games. Both sides of a Zoe matchup here. This Lux looked good. So many double roots, long range ults to secure kills or push people off objectives. He was pinpoint accurate the whole way through. Hecarim had a great game as well. You had Akaadian diving in there, got first blood. A lot more kills than team fights as well.
Team play has been the highlight so far in this series. And TSM, this spring, people talked about the strongest team heading into playoffs with the strongest finish to the regular season. Now they've got the back-to-back defending champions at match point.
Yeah, and for TL, it's going to be back to the drawing board. They've shown they can't deal with this Sona Taric. This was such a strong composition from TSM. I absolutely love the draft. There's not even that much onus on the Sona to deal a lot of damage because you have all these huge threats. The way that the Lux ultimate paired with these 2 physical damage divers, it was so well thought out, and it just really seemed that TL had no answer. You know, how can they keep their backline safe?
Well, they weren't able to do it. It was some great dives, and TSM are now 2-0 here in St. Louis. Now to gather their thoughts, let's send it back over to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Sona Taric makes its way back onto the LCS stage, and it felt like Team Liquid was on a clock, and that's exactly what happened. That final fight comes around. Hecarim, Irelia being able to push forward with all that support from the Lux, the Sona, and the Taric.
And that's TSM absorbing what they learned against Cloud9 with the Sona, Taric, Hecarim, and putting it as their own composition with their own little twist and the Lux. And this is actually the last fight that we saw where Hecarim gets caught right away, and Team Liquid tries to engage.
And look how many ults they force before you really get into this fight. They have the Hecarim ult come out, you have to use the Taric ult to keep him alive, and they still have so many tools available to keep taking this fight and eventually winning it. The fact that you have Broken Blade getting that sick flank, setting up eventual heals to keep coming in because they can't actually finish anyone off when you have this Sona Taric.
Right, that fight couldn't have gone better for Team Liquid in the sense if they started that fight with Hecarim burning his ult and Taric burning his ult. You want to burn Taric's ult before you start a fight, and they still got destroyed in this fight. Rek'Sai didn't do a single thing in any of the team fights, especially that one. And how do you beat that?
Well, I think it's the Ashe side. We were talking about it, and around the world, there have been different answers against the Sona Taric. One of the best ones has been Blitzcrank and Varus, making sure that you just yank them out of the lane, hook them, separate them, but none of that. Ashe side, to me, is not a very prepared answer to the draft that TSM has done. Their draft was impressive. You ban out the Kindred, the answer to the Rek'Sai, force them to pick it. You first pick the Taric, and then you're not going to take away the Sona, so they guaranteed have the composition.
Yeah, and this was, to me, I mean, we talked about last game maybe being a little bit more execution-focused of a win for TSM. This one, even though they still played fantastic, was a huge draft victory, and it's what helped them actually win their C9 series as well, having superior drafting. It comes through again. Like, this is so hard to beat. You needed to slam lane with the Ashe Zyra, and you have the tools to do that through level 6, but then as soon as you get out of the laning phase, it's such a telegraphed ultimate. You can easily see that coming, and then if you're trying to like bait the Taric ult out, how do you get back into the fight? The Rek'Sai is not good at doing that, and that requires Kennen to already be flanked. So it's so hard to execute for TSM.
TSM also recognized that their only win is going to be smashing lane early. Hecarim ganks level 2 bottom lane. Burns all the flashes.
Smart.
You forget about that lane already, and so you get the Sona Taric past the laning phase, and you guarantee yourself getting into a team fight phase later into the game.
By all accounts, TSM looks to be on fire today, and I think we have to take a moment, stop, and recognize that, because as we talked about at the top of the show, the veteran status of the players on Team Liquid, 2 world champions, 1 guy with 4 titles, 1 guy with 5 titles. I mean, there's an incredible amount of experience on there, but it's TSM, the one with the young guns, who actually look like they came out to play today.
They have to prove themselves. TSM has 4 members that legitimately are here to prove themselves as worthy players, whereas Team Liquid, they have so many accolades. This is just another day in the office, it seems, or they're kind of coming into this series expecting to win or expecting to be the best team because you have that back-to-back championship last year. So I think TSM just wants it more right now.
Right, myself and a lot of other pros came into this thinking that Team Liquid would be dominant here, but TSM has shut us up, basically. They're 2-0 right now, looking extremely strong, and Team Liquid has to do a lot different to come back in game 3.
And that's what's so hard, because I can't see where the weakness is. Like, what's the point of attack for Team Liquid going forward? We need to remember Broken Blade has had a fantastic series so far as well. As much as we're talking about the Sona Taric, he was just doing nasty stuff on Irelia the entire time. This was the one fight that went well for TSM, or excuse me, Team Liquid, and it was a TSM mistake of blowing 4 ultimates basically to take out a single threat. And as soon as they cleaned up that mistake, you know, the rest of the game was pretty handily in TSM's favor.
Yeah, Impact did have a stellar ultimate there, capitalizing on the blown ultimates from the side of TSM. But as you mentioned, that's the one part in the game that we can point to as a TL victory. The majority of the fights looked like this one.
I think.
And it starts with the Hecarim finding the backline as soon as the Sona gets deleted, but that doesn't matter, because while he's distracting the backline, Bjergsen hits a ridiculous double bind, double ultimate, double damage out of your slow, and Irelia is already there to clean it up.
Well, and the other thing too is if your Zyra and Ashe are using their tools to try and get a pick on a Sona or Taric, when an Irelia or a Hecarim dives onto them, they have nothing left to defend themselves. So Akaadian literally 1v2'd that backline by himself. The Taric ultimate actually didn't even end up on top of him.
Right, I think moving forward, if Team Liquid wants to make a stand, their entire top side of the map has to start stepping up and being a presence in this game. We haven't seen much from Jensen. We haven't seen Xmithie do anything. And Impact is getting outscaled and outclassed in each game. And Doublelift can only do so much as they need to carry. Zven's matching him in lane phase, doing perfectly fine. And then your entire top side of the map is just crumbling to TSM's pressure.
We'll dive into Game 3 game plans in just a moment, but to earn the title of champion, sometimes you need to put on some carry pants, and sometimes you need to set up your allies just to earn the title and say I'm helping. In a fight topside at 26 minutes, Zven shows off his Sona play by keeping his allies alive in a clutch fight.
And this is an example of how hard it is for Team Liquid to get a fight in their favor. You see them teleporting in, trying to get the flank off, trying to bait the Taric ultimate, but TSM are patient. They're still holding it. Smoothie's getting drowsy. I don't care. I haven't seen you engage yet. And they finally, after so long, pull the trigger, shoot the Ashe ultimate out, and he's still able to get the Taric ultimate off in time. And Zven, meanwhile, is able to charge forward with the help of his team and start setting up some more of these kills.
Did you see that stun out of Broken Blade, though? Because that was so filthy. He laid one of the pillars down first, then the other sword connects a second stun, and this, to me, is the example of what the meta is right now. You need to pick a composition that is capable of getting out of the early phase, but still being very strong later into the game. You all into the early game, you're not going to be able to team fight later, and it's going to be so difficult, which is what Team Liquid just showed there. It's just, how do you engage? Who's going to go in first? Essentially, whoever goes first is not making it out alive.
All right, TL has elected to go back to blue side. No substitutions yet again. So let's talk game 3 game plans here. How does TL bring it back? TSM's already been in this position, down 2-0 in a series. But now they're sitting pretty ahead 2 games. For TL, the team that's kind of swept their way through at times, even in their 2 previous final wins, smashing their competition. This is unfamiliar territory.
Right. I think they need to do a game plan to shut down Broken Blade and Akaadian specifically. You're allowing Broken Blade to do whatever he wants right now. There hasn't been a single lane gank into his lane yet, and he's clearly destroying these games. You see, even on Irelia, in the teamfights, he's doing so much more than a Kennen. And a Kennen's posted as a story teamfight, but I haven't seen a good ulti from Impact yet. So if you want to be able to take this game to late game where Doublelift might actually be able to carry, you need to stop Broken Blade from destroying your team. You need to stop Bjergsen from winning all these teamfights. And you actually have to do something with your jungler and top laner.
We talk about experience on these teams. Bjergsen is 23 years old. He's the oldest member on TSM, and yet he is younger than every single member on the TL roster. You talk about, what it means for this roster of TSM guys outside of Bjergsen to win this title and prove themselves here today. I guarantee you they're coming out in game 3 even harder than they were in games 1 and 2. So Mark, I want to see 5 games, but just get me to 4. Give me the game plan, baby.
I mean, this is the thing. I said I haven't seen anything where I'm like, this is the problem that TSM's going to have if you can address this. Like Hai is saying, you would like to see something to shut Broken Blade down a little bit because he feels like kind of the X factor that is really tilting these games, but that's not something that Team Liquid has done well all year long. So yeah, you want to draft something more aggressive to hold Broken Blade down, but that's not what TL has been great at. They did it a little bit in the semifinals, so maybe you start taking something super lane focused, kind of like the Victor they saw that one time, but that's starting to ask you to change your whole play style around the youngest guy by 2 years on the stage.
What we're saying, Dash, is that the game plan looks TSM favored.
Oh, no! Oh, no. Well, TL, I guarantee you they've got something in their playbook as they make their way back to stage, looking to turn this series around, currently down 2-0 against TSM. Now today, Secret Labs debuted the official LCS chair, and you can pick up your own at secretlabs.co/LOLesports. So you can play like the pros competing for a title today. And for a chance to win the glorious chair you see there, enter yourself into the Twitter sweepstakes. Team Liquid are a game away from losing the title, but this roster of champions, they've been here before. See if they can reclaim the throne after the break.
Let's play turn Sona, my dudes.
Yeah.
I'm so ready, by the way.
And now it's Akaadian's turn. On towards Doublelift, flashes, gets away. Will be feared back in, but not stunned. Is it enough? Yes, it is! Here comes the hard engage, look with the back line. They're gonna find the first on it. Down goes Doublelift. 5v4 to re-engage it. It's gonna be a trade kill. Here is Kennen. They found a third already.
Look, wait. In the back. Okay. Nice. Look at me. I got you. I can look too. Windows. We're so bad, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Good shit, guys. Nice. Good job.
Who's gonna drop? It's Impact, 1-for-0. Now towards Doublelift. Bleeding on the floor. 2-for-0. The Root will find a third. And TSM win yet another one.
Welcome back to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. The Spring Split semifinal match of Team Liquid and FlyQuest started with a bang. With both teams set up to invade, FlyQuest drew the short straw on phase-checking the jungle. JJ fell dangerously low to CoreJJ and Jensen, but escaped danger with the heal speed from Wild Turtle. Or did he? Impact had other plans and came rushing in to finish the job started by his teammates.